A friend of Socrates once went to the oracle of Delphi, the most sacred place in ancient Greece, and asked a simple question: is there anyone wiser than Socrates? The oracle replied, "No one is wiser." When Socrates heard this, he was confused. He did not think he was wise. He was not a professor. He was a stone cutter. He was poor. He believed he knew absolutely nothing. So he set out on a mission to prove the god wrong. He went to the politicians, the poets, and the craftsmen to find a man wiser than himself. But after speaking to them, he realized a terrifying truth. They thought they knew everything, but they actually knew nothing. Socrates realized, "I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing." This realization changed history. Socrates became the Gadfly of Athens, a stinging fly that kept the lazy horse of society awake. He was sentenced to death for his questions, but they could not kill his ideas. Today, we sit at the feet of the father of Western philosophy. Here are 7 life lessons from Socrates to examine your life and find true wisdom. Welcome to Aurelius Minds. Lesson number 1. The only thing I know is that I know nothing. We live in a world of arrogant certainty. Everyone acts like an expert on politics, health, and economy. They shout their opinions as if they are facts. Socrates teaches us the power of intellectual humility. To learn, you must first admit that you do not know. If your cup is already full of your own opinions, you cannot pour any new tea into it. True wisdom starts with "I don't know." When you admit ignorance, you open the door to curiosity. You stop defending your ego and start seeking the truth. Do not be afraid to look foolish. Be afraid of being confidently wrong. The smartest person in the room is usually the one asking the questions, not the one giving the answers. Lesson number 2. The unexamined life is not worth living. This is the most famous line in philosophy. Socrates noticed that most people live on autopilot. They wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, and repeat. They follow the herd. They accept the religion of their parents and the politics of their friends without ever asking why. Socrates warned that a life lived without reflection is a tragedy. It is a life wasted. You must be the auditor of your own soul. Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you want that job? Is it because you want it or because society told you to want it? Take time to stop. Sit in silence. If you do not examine your life, you are not living it. You are just acting out a script written by someone else. Lesson number 3. Be the Gadfly. Question everything. Athens was a powerful city, but Socrates called it a lazy horse that needed to be stung by a fly to stay awake. He was that fly. He would stop people in the street and ask them, "What is justice? What is beauty?" When they gave a lazy answer, he would question them until their logic fell apart. This is called the Socratic method. You must become the gadfly of your own life. Do not accept things just because that's how it's always been done. Question authority, question tradition, question your own habits. When you question everything, you strip away the lies. What remains is the truth. It might be uncomfortable. No one likes a stinging fly, but it is the only way to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Lesson number 4. Wealth does not bring goodness. In ancient Athens, people were obsessed with money, status, and power. They thought these things made a man good. Socrates walked barefoot. He wore the same old coat every day. He charged no money for his teachings. He told the jury at his trial, "I tell you that virtue is not given by money, but that from virtue comes money and every other good of man." He believed that the soul is more important than the body. If you have a sick body, you go to a doctor. But if you have a sick soul, corrupted by greed, no amount of money can cure you. Focus on building your character first. A good character can survive poverty, but a bad character will destroy a kingdom. Do not trade your soul for gold. Lesson number 5. Be a citizen of the world. Socrates lived in a time of extreme tribalism. People identified strictly by their city-state. "I am an Athenian," or "I am a Spartan." But when asked where he came from, Socrates replied, "I am not an Athenian or a Greek, but a citizen of the world." He saw beyond the artificial borders of nations. He recognized that all human beings share the same capacity for reason. In our polarized world, this lesson is vital. We divide ourselves by race, religion, and political party. We dehumanize those outside our tribe. Socrates challenges us to expand our identity. Do not limit your concern to your small circle. Wisdom knows no borders. Lesson number 6. Listen to your inner voice, the Daemon. Socrates often spoke of his Daemon, a divine inner voice. He said this voice never told him what to do, but it always told him what not to do. It was his conscience. It was his filter against wrong action. When he was about to make a mistake or betray his principles, the voice would stop him. We all have this voice. We call it intuition or gut feeling, but we often drown it out with noise and logic. We rationalize our bad decisions. Socrates teaches us to obey that check in our spirit. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. Do not argue with your Daemon. Integrity is simply listening to that quiet voice when it says, "Stop." Lesson number 7. Death is not to be feared. When Socrates was 70 years old, he was put on trial. He was found guilty by a small margin. He could have begged for mercy or escaped from prison, but he chose death. Why? He said, "To fear death, gentlemen, is no other than to think oneself wise when one is not, to think one knows what one does not know." He argued that death is either a peaceful sleep or a migration to a place where you can talk to other great souls. Either way, there is nothing to fear. He drank the cup of poisonous hemlock calmly, discussing philosophy until his last breath. He proved that if you live a life of virtue, you have nothing to fear in the next world. The wise man is always ready. Socrates left us no wealth, no empire, and no writings. He left us something far more valuable, the ability to think. He showed us that the unexamined life is a prison. He handed us the key to unlock it. The key is a question mark. Ask the question, seek the truth, know yourself. If you are ready to wake up, subscribe to Aurelius Minds. Start questioning.